Hello and welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode 137. You join me still in paradise, aka Mauritius, and as always, Aaron joining us live from Derby. How are you, and how was your week?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Not as good as your week, let's be honest. We're watching there from afar, very jealous. And the fact that we've not even heard from you much, you've not been on social media either, which is good to see. If you know,
Yeah,
oh, jealous. But yeah, no, good week. Really productive week. Some big things happening in the world of Bothics and everything else. So yeah, went back down to London again, which we'll talk about later. So yeah, good week. Oh, but tell us all. Give you an opportunity to show off a little
I,
bit. How's the holiday been?
I'll be honest. There's not much to tell. We've spent literally the whole week just R&R. We were hoping to do an all-day boat trip on Sunday, but the wind was quite bad, so that couldn't happen. So we'll do that later this week. But yeah, no, I've just switched off. Like as you say, I've not really been on social media, so LinkedIn and stuff's all been dormant. I've kept an eye on the Engage Facebook group and answered some questions on there when it's convenient. But yeah, no, just recharging, and yeah, got a couple of day trips planned ahead of us this week. So go snorkeling on some reefs, dolphin watching, and a day trip around the coast on a boat as well. So very nice stuff.
Love that.
But
And
it's been
and
a
the fact you told me off air that you didn't even take your laptop with you, which very
no.
impressive. Very impressive.
Uh, it is. Having said that, it's been a lot easier to run the iPad since I've updated it to iPad OS 26. It's yeah, this new update that's coming out in September for everybody is game changing. I think even you would be able to run because you've done videos and stuff, and we've chatted on here in the past on how you can't just run off an iPad if you needed to when you're out
Yeah.
at conferences and stuff. You need the laptop, but I think they've probably overcome most of your issues, which is quite cool. But yeah, so it's all good here. Thank you. All good
Good.
here. Um, right, what is our first topic today? I believe
Oh,
Adfin is the
let's go
top
with the
of.
community first.
Oh yes, right. Let me open that because that's on a different tab. You see. So,
Well, I'll pop them up on
uh,
screen. You can read them from there.
brilliant. So, good morning to Dave, who says, "Hope you all had a sunny weekend. Sunny but windy here." Good morning to Natasha. Good morning to Cheryl Stone. Hope you're enjoying your holiday, Johan. I am. Thank you very much. Good morning to Sue, who is on YouTube for the first time. That's what we like to see. YouTube
Ooh.
is the place to see this. You get to comment before, during, and after on YouTube. So you get, yeah, and you'd have to wait for it to come up like you do on LinkedIn. So you're far better off having this on YouTube.
Yeah. Don't
Good
forget to
morning.
subscribe.
Good morning to Paul Whitehouse as well. Nicola says good morning to everyone. Susanna says good morning, as does Juliet. Nick Moss says good morning, both. Kirsty St. John says good morning, everybody. And Hannah says morning, looking forward to a great week. That is the attitude you want at
Yeah.
8:30 on a Monday morning, or 11:30 in my time. But yes, looking forward to a great week. So fantastic. So we've got a few news topics to talk about, as per usual. I mean, do we want to discuss the F1, Aaron?
We do. We should do, really, shouldn't we? 'Cause it was the first time that in a long time I've been so animated about it. No one's fault, really, was it? Well, it was Lando's fault. But for anyone who doesn't know, our boy George Russell went away and went. So I get to wear my, Mercedes top with pride. That's good. That's one good thing, right? But then, yeah, Canadian Grand Prix, and I must admit, for me, Canadian Grand Prix has always been one of those top 5 tracks of all time. Like that is, it's got its GOAT category, right? It's up there, and then always comes with drama, always comes with excitement, always comes with something to go home talking about. I didn't fail to deliver this time around, did it? Because we got the opportunity to see first time ever papaya, like McLaren's knocking one another out. So yeah, It is what it is. I'm absolutely gutted. But yeah, what can you do? Like, you just gotta go with it, you? I mean, at the end of the day, Oscar still didn't win the race, did he? So it could have been worse. Could have been even worse
No,
for
but
the championship hopes.
Yeah, he built his points lead ahead of a few people, so that was all good. I'm just pleased that the accident didn't damage Oscar's car to the point that he couldn't finish, because that would have been really devastating for the whole McLaren team. But yeah, no, good race, a very good race in the end. Good weekend for it in general.
I mean, what time was it at
your
your end? Because it was bad enough for us having to do till 9 o'clock at night. So
the race started at 10 o'clock, at 10 p.m. our time. Qualifying started at midnight. I didn't make it to qualifying, I'll be honest.
I thought you were quiet on the group chat.
But yeah, so yeah, no, it was all good. But yeah, another good race from Canada. So first topic of the day. Adfin have been making some announcements. Now, I've been using Adfin since the start of this year. Absolutely love Adfin and what they do, and their responsiveness to user feedback is always fantastic. And a lot of what they've announced this week, or last week even, has come from user feedback. So first of all, you can now create and send payment links to get paid for one-off invoices without having to put it through QuickBooks or Xero or Free Agent. You can just send a link now, generate a link. You can also generate invoices in Adfin. So if you don't want your team in your QuickBooks or Xero or Free Agent account, you could just give them access to Adfin and they can generate their invoices there, which will then go into your bookkeeping software, which I quite like that as a workaround for people that do and don't want bank access and stuff like that. You don't need to worry about permissions, do you? If they're not even in there, but they can still do what they need to do from a sales point of view. So that's really good. And the credit control dashboard is there now to give you better insights into who owes you money and who's paying on time. Have you had a look at any of this yet?
Only screenshots, etc. We are still wanting to make the move, wanting to make the push, but we only have a very small subsection of our clients utilizing at the moment. Just because there's other projects at the moment that are taking our time and more up the priority ladder at this point in time. But I love what I can see. Like you said, that idea of that credit control dashboard is definitely in the right direction, right? And I think if they can really nail that, and the guys at Adfin are the sort of people who definitely can, then Sherlocking, which is that new phrase we learned a year ago, of coming along and basically a software making another software become obsolete for your utilization. I can see this happening here, right? And it makes sense to be there. That's where it should be. Whatever your main payment platform is going to be, whatever you're going to have invoices in, they should be the one also dealing with your credit control at the same time, right? And giving you those tools and everything else. I know at the moment it's that dashboard, and that dashboard's amazing, and you can quickly go through and see it from the screenshots I've seen. But I'm really excited for what they could bring to the table going next, right? Because they have that lovely opportunity to build it directly in with the build, with the payment product. Because one thing I've always admired from afar, but never been able to kind of bring it into our system is, the opportunities to do things like payment on accounts. Lovely. Other products have kind of promised that they'll bring it in. So if a client has got an invoice that they just can't get paid, giving them an opportunity to pay an installment or whatever it's going to be, like being flexible with a client. The clients find that really beneficial, don't they? Like opportunity to be there and to do that. So that's why I see Adfin having that advantage of, later down the line, giving you the opportunity to make it so it's really easy for that client to make a payment. They've already got multiple payment options, which is a huge, massive bonus for them, isn't it? The client basically has control of how they're going to make that payment, right? Is it by a credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, however they want to implement their payment. Maybe not PayPal actually, but the rest of them are there, aren't they? but they also have direct debits set up as well. So I see this as a really good stepping stone for where it's going to be, and it shows you that this isn't just a a payment in platform. This is actually a whole money in
Yeah,
platform. Do you know what I mean?
like I think getting the money in, that's a minimum viable product.
Mm.
Like, well done, you've got the money in, but actually, there's so much more software could do, and no one's really done it like properly yet. So they're making waves, and yeah, I, as an admin user in my firm, I'm very happy. That
And
is for sure.
haven't they announced the name on the back of their bus as well? Um, honk if you hate chasing invoices. Because they've had a little
Yes, ready for
rating.
their Tea Party road tour that they're doing. Yeah, I think they're going to get a lot of vans honking at them as they drive up the M6 and down the A1. That's going to be, yeah, very, very clever way of doing it. So, yeah, they've got some really good
Have
marketing
you
behind
guys
them.
looked at it? Have you guys implemented it, or have you heard from your team if they kind of start playing around with it or anything like that?
I don't know. Probably not. They tend to leave that stuff to me.
Yeah,
And then I go and train the team. So that'll be done next week when I'm back.
amazing. And then they're live in a new location as well. They're going to get themselves in Guernsey of all places. Apparently,
They
there's a
have
little
gone live
island,
in Guernsey, which
little
is,
island down south
yeah,
somewhere. Couple
I'm
of practices down there or something like that.
yeah, I'm sure Tim and his team are absolutely ecstatic about that. Because there's many a software that they talk to and go, look, we'd love to use you, but you don't work in Guernsey. And I think Silverfin have done it now for them,
Yeah.
and Adfin, and they're just like, these guys are great, and it just shows how simple it actually is to work in Guernsey. You just need to actually put some thought into it. Um, so yeah, I'm sure that the firms over in Guernsey will be ecstatic to have Adfin over there working for them. So yeah, any other thoughts on Adfin?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it, as well? Because more and more practices now, like yourself, that have got, you've got QuickBooks and Zero and everything. Like you're using multiple ones, right? Like you're quite unique
Yeah,
in some respects, but I think that's going to come more and more common, isn't it? With ACSP and MTD and everything else, there's going to be a lot of acquisitions going lately. And yeah, you could do a whole, rip out what systems that acquisition is going to be and just run for it, right? You can do that. That's worked quite a lot. But also, I see a lot of people, not wanting to disturb the apple cart too much, right? And this is a sort of way where if you did have a business that primarily runs on Zero, like you've had in the past and everything else, then you can just make Adfin your invoicing area for the whole firm, right? Like that can be what that's going to be. Everyone understands that's where the invoice is going to be. That's where the power is, and everything else. And it just means that you can be a little bit more agnostic, doesn't it? You don't have to force yourself down there. And I think that's something that definitely for me in my journey at the moment and looking at things that are going on, I need to have software that I can just have that reliance on. And I can just plug in whatever software I need to plug in to make it work. In this case, Zero and QuickBooks. And I think that's definitely going to be a big benefit for them. So if you can get that right and you can be confident in generating your invoices outside of your traditional bookkeeping software, that if you've asked me 2 years ago, a year ago, I probably would have said, nah, I'm not comfortable in that. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like that, I want a safe pair of hands doing that sort of thing. But these guys have already proven that there are that safe pair of hands, right? And the benefit is you can just then plug and play it into whatever other system you've got. And I think there's going to be a lot of benefits with that going forward. And
I think there's
yeah,
huge benefits for our clients. So like, we've all got that nightmare client that, God, we don't want them to have access to QuickBooks or Zero or Free Agent because they make a bloody mess of it every 2 minutes. But they
yeah,
need to be able to raise their own invoices. Actually, Adfin is that solution now.
yeah, yeah. And that, when we're talking about in a more MTD world, we need it to be all digital, right? Like the gone are the days where they can just have a pen and paper or those duplicate books and everything else. We need them to be more digital, right? So if we can
Yeah.
give them a nice slick system that they can just get on with it, I think that's definitely going to be beneficial for everyone, isn't it? So yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going in the right direction. I personally need to figure out a better way to migrate it over, but that's on me, right? That I've got to figure that out. I've got to figure that solution out. So yeah, we'll see how it goes going forward, and it's definitely one to keep an eye on, because I mean their update cycle already has been absolutely mental, hasn't it? So they're going to have even more updates coming too, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. They've got a lot planned. So yeah, free agents due anytime now.
Nice.
Engager won't be far along down the road now. So yeah, they've got a lot planned. So it's really cool. And Cheryl says in the comments, loving the payment request without an invoice option.
Nice.
There we go. Excellent. Cool. Well, speaking of excitement, you had a trip to London. Talk us through it. What were you doing in London this time? I will say this time, because you're there like all the time.
I know, it's getting a bit mad, isn't it? No, I got the pleasure of going down to Intuit HQ to talk to a certain Steve. I say Steve because that's exactly what my analogy of this is going to be. But no, I went to go and see Scott Cook. For anyone who doesn't know, was one of the co-founders of Quicken, which became QuickBooks. So he has kind of been there, and he's now, I want to say, he's like, I can't remember his exact role, but it's like visionary or something. But he's still on the board and still kind of involved and still one of the main things. So in my world, it's the equivalent of going to see Tim Cook or Steve Jobs. Now, obviously, I'm never going to get the chance to see Steve Jobs anymore, but I don't think I'm ever going to have the chance to see Tim Cook either. I don't think that's going to be an opportunity that's going to come down anytime soon. So no, having the opportunity to come and see Scott Cook was absolutely brilliant. And it was one of those opportunities where just being in the room with someone like that is so inspiring, right? Like having the chance to listen to them and everything else. But this was actually a round table of eight other accountants. In this round table, he had a whiteboard and a pen, and his all he wanted to do was find out what our pain points was, not just with QuickBooks or anything else, but in the industry, and give us an opportunity to give feedback, good and bad, with the product as well. So really, really good. I mean, I've made a career of talking about QuickBooks as goods and bads, right? So, that was when it came round to me when we were doing like the round thing, it was like, well, how long we got here? Because,
the UK team sat bracing themselves on their chairs like, oh, God.
Exactly. Here's all the good things and here's the things that, could do better. But no, it was a fantastic event, fantastic opportunity. Came around like one of those things where it would, it was almost drop everything because this is an opportunity to go in and see and everything else. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. And having that opportunity just to kind of talk to someone who understands it, right? They understand like where the product is and where the business is and everything else, and kind of give that honest feedback was really, really good. So yeah, no, humbling experience, and if anyone ever gets the opportunity to do anything like that, I'd highly recommend go jump into the chance to go down there as well.
Fantastic. Sounds like a good day out to London.
It was. I mean, it was literally just the morning as well. I got up at 4:30, got in there, had this meeting, and then I needed to be back anyway. So I was on a train back at like 2:00, I think it was, and then back home for like 4, whatever it was. So yeah, it was a splash and go sort of idea, but really, really, really good. Really, I can't thank Intuit enough really for giving me that opportunity, right? Because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it was great to be involved in it.
Yeah, definitely work. Always, I think whether you like what they've built or not, I think like I'm not a big fan of Microsoft and Windows, but if I ever got the chance to meet Bill Gates, you'd still want to go and meet Bill Gates, because regardless of what he came up with, look at what he's created. Whether you like it or not, look at what he's achieved in life. So yeah, and meeting anybody, that's always really important. So yeah, great opportunity for you.
And it's that scalability, isn't it? Like we look at it from ourselves, and we're really proud of what we've built and everything else, but it's getting to that sort of level, which is there's definitely there's levels to this game, right? And there's levels to building something and building a product to that sort of scale, and just understanding it. And with him especially, he created this whole and it is built into the DNA of QuickBooks or Intuit's philosophy and everything else, but he built this design for delight solution, and it's all about basically, if you're going to build something, then this 3-step process or 5-step process, I think it is, and we've been using that process, and I didn't even know it was his, right? I didn't even know that's where it came from, but we've been using this process within the TWN network, for example, and stuff we've been doing there. And if we've ever kind of been invited to maybe help build some or give some feedback on something, it's always following that design for delight scenario and how that works, and it always goes back to it, and that's what he built. And then he's basically built the whole product around there. So it's really interesting just to kind of see how that was it, how that kind of came to fruition and where that came from and everything else. And you can see just by really simple exercise of let's get feedback from users. Basically, that's what it was. But the way he did it in the way that he kind of put that together, and the way he was very much making sure that everyone got the right say, and all, it was just interesting to see how he approached something like that. Because I think if in the nice part, if anyone else tried to approach something like that, it'd be quite a scattergun approach, but his was very methodical of this is how we want to do it, this is how we achieve it. It's a really real eye opener just for that.
Brilliant. It sounds like an absolutely fantastic day, and some learnings that you can take and put into your own practice about how you deliver new services and stuff, which is, I think people are like, oh, great, Aaron's went to meet somebody, but actually you can take anything you learn from stuff like that and apply it to your own business, and that's so important.
100%.
So, yeah. Right, speaking of designing to delight, there we go. What a segue.
You smashed
Apple
it.
WWDC. So Apple did their event last Monday, 6 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m. Mauritian time. So yeah,
were you there with a few beers and
a couple of cocktails, you know how it is. So one thing I didn't spot this year, which we like to play as a bit of Apple bingo, was QuickBooks didn't get any screen time this year, whereas in previous years you've seen them trying to, like, QuickBooks being used on the iPad or the iPhone and on a trip on the subway or something. So yeah, none of that this time. No QuickBooks. Overall thoughts on WWDC and what's coming in the year ahead for us for Apple devices?
It was a much needed positive boost, wasn't it? Safe to say that this time last year we had by far the most exciting WWDC we've ever had, and then it all kind of went down from there. They put this expectation all the way up here, and they delivered 20% of it or whatever it was, with all their Apple Intelligence talking and everything else. So look, they needed this just to give us that shot in the arm again, right? Give us that opportunity to go, right, okay, all right, I'm right to still have an iPhone, I'm right to still have a MacBook or whatever it's going to be. That you use these as an opportunity to go, have I put the flag in the right thing? And we're doing that a lot with our accounting softwares at the moment, right? We're questioning, are we putting our flag into the right solution as we look to deliver MTD, as we look to deliver all the changes that are coming, right? And I tend to see these as an opportunity to go, am I, a massive Apple fanboy, so it's going to take me a lot to to move on. But I still watch the opposition, right? I still watch what Google I/O's got to do. I still watch the I forget what the Microsoft one is, but Microsoft has their own conference, right? And I still watch
Samsung Unpacked and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you still watch those ones because they're all gunning for the same thing, right? They're all gunning for that same share of your time and your opportunity to learn. And it's so important that we get that bit right. Like if we get the the solution that we're delivering our products on, which now we've got to make sure we have the right phone and the right operating system and all that lot. It's really important to how we become efficient. Yeah. So I always keep an eye on all of them, but this time I was a little bit nervous about Apple's approach to it because they were on the back foot, and that's not like Apple. And with all the resources they have and all the money they have and everything else, for them not to have delivered last year's promise was a bit of a worry. But the start alone got me hyped up. I don't know if you remember it, but it was
what a start.
possibly the great start. So anyone who hasn't seen, please just watch the first, what is it, minute and a half of
especially if you're an F1 fan, because it's all F1 orientated. And is it this week the F1 film
something like that? It premieres today, worldwide premiere, and it must be like this week or something that it comes out.
I think it's on the 20th. Yeah, this weekend maybe the F1 film comes out, and Apple have put a lot of money behind that and paid for a lot of money to have it produced. So they are taking full advantage of it, rightly so. I
mean, we may be in it. We were in the crowd when they're filming some scenes. So
we need to watch out for that.
Yeah. But it was an amazing start, and I think that got my expectations to go there. But I think overall I'm really happy with what was announced. I'm really happy with the with what's coming. So positivity more than anything else was my kind of overall thing. And like I said, that start, number one start of all time. So if you haven't, please just watch that start.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone's getting hyped up about liquid glass, the new look of it. I can't say I'm overly excited. So because we've got an app for Engager, it means we're technically developers, so I get access to all of this quite early. Well, I got access to this last Monday. Yeah. So I've been running it on my devices, and it's not very buggy. It's a bit thirsty. Like, it's drinking the battery power. But other than that, it's fine. And everything they said in that speech is there today. So, which compared to last year, wasn't. So I think Apple have learned their lesson. I think there's some accounting softwares that need to learn their lesson as well of announce it when you've got it, not stop trying to sell us the dream, because you end up making yourself look like idiots like Apple did last year. But yeah, the iPhone updates, minor. There's some really cool bits in there, but it's just catching up with what other phones have had for a while. So if the phone doesn't recognize the number in your contacts that's calling you, it will answer it before it rings you, and it will find out who they are. So it gets, filters out the spam calls a bit. And then...
Which kind of needs to be updated, because at the moment I'm in that position where if it's not saved in the phone, but I'm sure we all got the same problem, then you don't know it's ringing. And 90% of the time, you don't want to answer that phone call, because 90% of the time it's just spam, right? But then that's that 10% of the time where actually that was a really important call and you've missed it and you didn't even know it was calling. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've had to go in certain situations where I've had to add particular numbers to my phone book just so I don't miss that particular call, right? So it needed that update. So I'm glad to see that there's a more elegant way of doing that, which if it works the way they've shown, is kind of perfect way, right?
It does. And so someone rang me last week, like Wednesday, Thursday time, and I didn't know the number. So the phone hadn't even rung at this point, but it started ringing saying that, and it started showing me the text of the transcript of what they were saying. So there was this guy who was calling me because his mate had recommended me to help him out with some stuff. He set up a new business, blah blah. So I didn't even need to take the call. I just sent a text message back saying, "Hi, so and so, thanks for reaching out. I'm on holiday at the moment. I'm going to give you a call back when I get back on the 23rd." So I didn't have to take that call and interrupt my holiday. It was quite nice and easy to do. So yeah, really, really good feature. That really like that. So yeah, like there's little things on the iPhone, but nothing major.
Well, I'd say the biggest one, and I think it comes to all of the things, because now the phone app is now on all devices, right? Which is
that's huge.
Yeah,
Like,
but the idea that you could call HMRC, for example, and just let Siri deal with them, get through, and pass it back. So the concept there is you start the call, it will then sit on the hold music for you, and then let you and basically ring you back when they're there. I'm not 100% sure how HMRC are going to handle this. Like, how many are they going to? Is this going to be something that they're going to push back on at some point? Because you would have thought from a KPI, their internal, um, um, you know, uh, metrics and everything else, this probably harms them, right? That they finally, or they answer the call to you, and then they've got to wait for you to connect, sort of thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna come down long term wise. Like, are they going to push back? Are they going to have to develop AI that's then going to wait for someone to come back? And I don't know. But that concept, though, I think that's huge for us, right? The idea that we can be on hold to HMRC, but just crack on with what we're doing, and then we'll be informed when they're ready to talk to us.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very cool feature. Not one I've tested yet, but I'm looking forward to testing it.
And if it's phone kit, does that mean any phone solution could take advantage of it, do you reckon?
I don't know. It would need testing, but it's a very cool idea. But the other cool part is that the phone app is now available on all your devices. So if you've got a iPad with a SIM card built in, you don't need to take your phone with you, in theory. Because the other big news that because of Apple, this kind of went under the radar, but you can now get WhatsApp on your iPad.
Yeah.
Like, properly, like the WhatsApp app is now available on the iPad, which it's never been before. So I'm now like, okay, actually my phone, which I never go without my phone in my pocket. Actually, that phone could be in the bottom of my bag, and I've got my iPad with me and stuff, and I can do a lot of stuff without having to root around to find the bag. Bag anymore. So yeah, quite a lot of exciting stuff there. But really, I think the iPad updates are the huge ones. I mean, the how you use iPads with the windows now is going to be so much easier. Multitasking is going to be easier. Preview, which is the PDF viewing tool that Apple have now on the iPad. I mean, to be able to preview your PDF without having to put it into another app, e-sign it, fill out forms, auto-complete PDF forms and stuff. That's going to be huge, especially for you, isn't it? Because that's the bit you've struggled with going iPad only on in the past.
Yeah. I mean, there's stories with me where I've been sent something that needs signing there and then. I've opened it up on my iPad. I've gone to sign it, and I don't have a tool on the iPad. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. And in the end, what I've had to do is get the laptop out, connect that to the internet, put that through, and then press the preview button on there, send it to the iPad for the iPad to sign it, for it then come back to the iPad, and then I've had to airdrop it back to my iPad to then be able to go and actually send that really important. Like, this was time sensitive, right? It had to have already have been signed at this point. And this is all on a train where I'm trying to, fight with the Wi-Fi and fight with this. And do you know what I mean? Like, in theory, I should have just been able to grab that document, sign it on the iPad, and then just send it back. And now, by the sounds of it, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But it was workarounds like that was stopping me having that confidence just to go iPad only, right? Those, 90% or 80% of the work probably could be done on iPad before this update, but without that other 10 to 20%, you can't risk not taking a laptop with you, going through the rigmarole, getting it all set up, blah 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 blah. So I mean, you've played with it, right? And is it exactly as it should be, where the emails, you just press preview and sign and off you go?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Automatically goes straight into preview. Automatically goes, I've detected some areas that we can auto-complete for you, whether you want it to or not. You can do your e-signing, your iPad pencil signing stuff. Yeah, really good tool. And
this should be the best tool for reviewing work now, right? Because that's where I love that Surface Book idea. So concept wise, and we've spoken on this show before, right? And from against my sins, I now have a Windows device as well, right? I have this Surface Book, which is their attempt at as an iPad, right? Where it's using Windows. But what I like about it is that one device I can review work because I can do everything on it. I can bring up that PDF of the QuickBooks of the account. I can have QuickBooks or whatever working paper solution I've got on it as well. I can go through. I can add notes and everything else. And I don't know about you, but there's still something about just highlighting, like putting a line and a circle around something to say, look, this director's not been updated, or there's a spelling mistake here, or whatever it's going to be. Like that's the level of reviewing that I'm up to at this point now. I'm really confident that my team are providing the right numbers and everything else. And yeah, like I'll have to go in and investigate some of them and, you know, tick some of them up and maybe add a prepayment here or a whip here or whatever. But most of the time it's right. Let's make sure that we're presenting it right, and it's that fresh pair. It's a second pair of eyes, right? So having the opportunity to circle stuff or tick stuff or underline stuff or whatever it's going to be, that's the level of reviewing that I need at this point in time. So I've been forced on this, you know, going down this Windows device that I can basically have a pen and go through. By the sounds of it, surely now the iPad can be that ultimate reviewing device, especially if it's, you know, cellular connection with a SIM inside there as well. Connects anywhere, wherever you are. You've just got access to the internet at any point. Do you reckon this is that tool now?
I think you're at the point where you can make that migration now. Whether you do it now while it's in beta or not, different matter. But it's there. It's ready to do that. It can open up your PDFs. It can be annotated and stuff. It can be sent back really easily. So yeah, that's very cool. Very good. So yeah, I think the productivity while out and about is going to be far better because of it. So yeah, whether it's quite there to get rid of the laptop completely, don't know yet. It depends what you're trying to do. But I think we're well on the way.
Because it's file management as well, and that was always a big bugbear of mine, wasn't it? It was, you know,
files incredible now.
Good.
Because file management is.
Yeah, you didn't want to work around, right? You didn't want to have to save it up here and then save it to this iCloud or whatever it was going to be. You wanted it just to be, I've got a file, let's put the file in and go from there. So that sounds positive. And if we can, wouldn't need testing, but if we can kind of use it as that ultimate reviewing device, then straight away, like that's a win for the industry, because it is tricky out there. It is this point where for me to review a set of accounts, realistically, I've got to sit on my desk, or I've got to get my laptop out, or whatever it's going to be, right? We need to get to the point where if I need to review a job and I'm out and about already, you know, a conference or whatever it's going to be, if I've got 5 minutes to myself, 10 minutes to myself, I can go through and I can just do that important job, get it reviewed, get my notes out there, get it back to people, and off to the races, right? Like that's where we need to be and where we want to be to be efficient in all these things.
Yeah, and just with the preview app being there, I think that's more than achievable now, which is fantastic news. Yeah, was there anything else like stood out for you from WWDC?
Is a funny one. It was like the Apple TV is one of my favorite devices we've had so far, and it dominates my my house at the point. Like every room has one. Every room there's a TV in the room. There's an Apple TV connected to it because that's what we watch more than anything else now. It's got YouTube on, Netflix on, now TV's got all of it, right? So we don't need Sky or a Sky Box or anything like that. Apple TV is kind of our thing. I was quite excited about this whole idea of, you know, these new features coming out, and Apple's always been one of the Apple TV has always been one where what else can you do to it? Like, what is there? Like, you know what I mean?
God, you're not excited by karaoke, are you?
I am.
Oh God,
karaoke. Yes. Oh yes. The idea that you get your phone, put it the karaoke words come up on screen, and after the race you go. I just thought it was they needed something, and I was not expecting that to be the something. I'll be completely honest, but it was a nice surprise to have karaoke from there. So, you know, thinking office parties, or you want something to help people in to get excited about for a break time or whatever. Apple TV, karaoke, they've all got their own iPhones. Off to the races. Okay, it's a win-win for the industry, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, I thought that was cool. And then the only other thing that hopefully makes me excited, or gives me hope, is the Apple Vision Pro updates. So for anyone who didn't see the updates out there, the idea is that you can have a more persistent widgets around. So the idea is that you stick the Apple Vision Pro on, and then you can say, right, on this wall over here, I want my weather app. On this wall over here, I want my stock app. On this wall over here, I want information gathering widget at some point, right? And also now stuff will persistently stay when you switch it on and off, which is always a frustration where you'd come to use it and maybe you've set up your ultimate desk or whatever it's going to be. Now those things are going to stay there. They're going to be there. And it was just that tiny update, but it's enough of an update to go, okay, it's going in the right direction. I still struggling to recommend it to anyone. I still don't see it as something that people should run out and get. But I think updates like this make it far more of a, okay, in some circumstances, some situations, this is actually really, really useful. And that idea that you could have widgets over there and everything else, I see where they're going with it. I think what they need to do more is let things like ChatGPT and all that lot have more control over it. I think that's what it's missing. It's still, you put a really good analogy. It reminds you of the iPad back in the day, and the iPad back in the day didn't, like, the third-party apps was always felt like they were just there. They didn't really have that thing. But now with multitasking and everything, with the iPad evolving, suddenly they're going to be much more user-friendly, right? And they're going to have a much more, they're going to feel part of the ecosystem, part of it, as opposed to just this app that's there. And my favorite use case to going back to Vision OS is talking to ChatGPT on it and things like that, right? Like having that there. So there is a world where ChatGPT can be a widget, can be sat on your wall over there, and it just, you can have that conversation with it, sort of thing, and then there. But it needs to be able to have access to the cameras, have access to what you're looking at, have access to that for it to really go forward. And I know that's what they want Apple Intelligence to do, but Apple Intelligence isn't there yet, as we all know.
So there's been a little ChatGPT update that I forgot about, and no one's making any talking about. But on the, I don't know if it's there on the Vision Pro yet.
Okay.
But on the iPad or your iPhone or your laptop, you can tell ChatGPT. So you click on the voice icon thing as if you're going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Then you have an option to screen record, which means ChatGPT can see your screen. So I was playing with this the other day when I was going through some support tickets for Engager.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, Johann, I can see you're looking at a ticket with this issue. Would you like me to help you research the solution to this?
Amazing.
I was like, okay, that's quite scary, but quite cool. Yeah. But if that was there in the Vision OS as well,
this is it.
It could be very cool.
And
so ChatGPT can now see your screen if you turn it on, and that's, you have to turn it on every time you want it to see your screen.
Yeah, but that's exactly the same technology I was using with the Google Studio, remember? And showing off training, and that's where it becomes really powerful, right?
Yeah.
First time you ever used a piece of software, maybe, and this because it's seeing your screen, can give you that context and give you that thing. So I'll have to have a play around with it, but if it can kind of be on par with what Google Studio was doing, that's really, really powerful, especially from that training point of view, and kind of pushing from there.
Yeah, I was very impressed when, I just started screen recording, thinking, let's have a look. And then, because I'd spent 30 seconds reading through this email ticket that came in, she piped up saying, hi, Johann, I can see you're looking at this ticket concerning this issue. Would you like me to help you come up with, brainstorm some solutions, etc.? So actually, no, I know what I'm doing with this, funnily enough, but thanks for asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine screen recording? You're looking at a set of accounts for for a new client that someone else did, and it's like, "Hi, ChatGPT, can you help me review these accounts that I'm looking at and highlight any areas of concern?" Like, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be
and
quite
real
cool.
time, right? Like that's where disadvantage of it is you know you got
Well, it's
2 minutes
like being
before you.
sat next to someone and going, "Let's have a look at this together."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's yeah that's where it needs to be, doesn't it? And I think the only thing it needs to be that you is to be on all devices, right? It doesn't matter what device you have; it should have that opportunity to start reviewing it and start to build up that process. And I think that's when it'll become really powerful.
Yeah,
It's great at learning
definitely.
your habits and everything else, right? So it'll be a great opportunity to do it. And then all it needs then is the opportunity then to be able to start looking at it before. So, you know, that support ticket's great that it's been able to kind of give you there and then. But what if the second you open it up, it's like, oh, by the way, I already, you know, I know you're going to want to reply to it. Here's some other bits that you might want to know, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. So
So
that's where it's powerful, right?
you can tell I've had a bit of time off because I've been playing with new toys. Um, have a go at Fixer AI. Anybody that wants people to, so basically Fixer AI links into Google or Microsoft, wherever your email
Mhm.
servers are.
Yep.
It reads the emails as they come in, categorizes them. So it's a FYI, or you need to respond to this, or this is marketing. And any that you need to respond to, it drafts a response.
Brilliant.
So a client, literally, I started playing with this one actually before I went away, but a client emailed in saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this. What are the implications tax wise? What do I need to be aware of?" And it was I'm going to start paying my staff mileage for
Yeah.
using their cars because they've got a new salesperson. And before I'd even read this email, it had already come up with a draft response. And it had gone through and gone, "Yeah, your proposal's absolutely fine. Remember the following things, though. If you pay over this 45p rate, you are going to be subjecting it to tax. If you pay under, they've got to go to HR." It wasn't just a place holding kind of email like, "Hi, thanks for your email. I'm going to get back to you." It was a fully answered response.
Yeah.
Done. So yeah, if anyone wants a software that's going to help answer email, like, and all it does is it just creates it as a draft, and then you review, edit, and press send.
Yep.
But
I love that.
I know when I get back to the office on Monday, my inbox is going to be full with hundreds of emails. But I know now every single one of them is going to be categorized, so I can work through them in the right order. Every single one of the ones that I need to respond to will most likely have a fairly accurate response rating drafted and waiting for me to read and just press send, or do a bit of editing and then press send. Like, yeah, very, very clever bit of kit, Fixer AI. Well worth a
Love that.
look at.
Love that.
Um,
I do wonder what's stopping ChatGPT just doing that anyway. Now it's got its new connector, right? Like now it
yeah,
has the opportunity to connect to, because I
only
think
a matter of time.
email was one of those opportunities, wasn't it, for it to?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I think ChatGPT will be able to do that in a very short period of time, and that was Sherlock, as we call it.
yeah,
Things like Fixer. However, overall, very clever bit of kit. I mean, if you want to take Fixer even further, you can let it be a note taker in all your meetings,
mm,
and then it will use that all that information to help answer your emails as well.
love that, love that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
becoming that second brain kind of thing. Um, so yeah, it's a very clever bit of kit. But yeah, as you say, but now ChatGPT can record meetings. Now ChatGPT can see your screen. Like, it's only a matter of time until ChatGPT will do what Fixer's doing, and then ultimately it will get Sherlocked, and ChatGPT will be the one place. Which I've got no issue with that. Like, you can now tell ChatGPT in your personal branding area, you can go, "Here's my LinkedIn profile. Here's my
Yeah.
website." Like, and it goes and it consumes it and understands you better because of it. Um, so yeah, it's it's very scary and very clever, but the benefits are going to be huge in the long run.
Love that, love that. Nice, nice. I think that's it for
Right.
the Apple.
Yeah, let's move on
announcement.
from technology. Aaron, you messaged me during the week with some exciting news. Tell the people.
Yeah, I mean, my message to you was congratulations for being an Accounting Excellence nominee, which you were flabbergasted at because you didn't even know that you'd applied to be.
Am I? Who put me forward? What category?
Uh, yeah, exactly. But no, all hats off to producer Lizzie, who put Ask the Accountant podcast, this very podcast you listen to now, forward for marketing campaign of the year. I'll be completely honest, I don't know what she put forward, but I believe it was to do with the top trumps cards and how that kind of puts together and everything else. So really, really cool that she put that together all off her own back as well, which is cool to see. And the fact that we got nominated as well. We're up against 3 other marketing campaigns of the year, so that'll be interesting to see how we get on the night, etc. But it wouldn't be Accounting Excellence without giving us some shout outs to some of the others as well. So we've got Bookkeeping Team of the Year, we've got our TCS and LJM Bookkeeping out there as well. And if I do miss anyone, put in the comments below if there's anyone else I should shout out as well. I'm just going to go through them. And Practice Lead of the Year, we've got people like Ariona and people like that in there as well. So yeah, it should be an interesting Accounting Excellence. The fact that maybe we've started to help them see the light a little bit by getting like shoehorning Ask the Accountant in there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that means we can open up for more podcasts and other sort of scenarios because we've said it enough times, but we'd really love to see representation for that in these sort of awards, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and like we spoke about it offline earlier, like, you know, Accounting Excellence Awards, in our opinion, should be rewarding best podcasting, best webinar series, whether it's from a governing body or a software vendor, whatever it is. Like those that are helping to give value to the industry and spread positive word, etc. Like all of that should be recognised. So it would be nice if if the awards categories got broadened slightly, because PQ Magazine have broadened their awards slightly more now. So hopefully that's the start of a trend. But we shall see. We shall see.
And Kirsty shouts out that Penelope's in the ECG Excellent Awards. Yeah, good shout. I mean, she's up against some big hitters there, so that'll be amazing to see how she goes on with that one. Yeah, while bookkeeping there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entrants to that, which is good to see anyway, right? Like that there's that many environmental conscious ones out there, so that's good to see. But yeah, no, that'll be a really hot contended category there, so that'll be great to see.
Definitely.
But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and I believe it's the same time as it always is. So what we're looking at now, 30th of September is going to be, and it's Roundhouse again by the looks of it. So that'll be good to see. And watch this space. I mean, we will try and see if we can get Ask the Accountant involved, which we were supposed to do last year and the year before, but we'll see what happens. But it'd be good to see people there at the event as always. So it's always an event we like to get excited about, don't we? The Accountant.
Definitely. Cool. Right, that brings us up there for the week. Aaron, what have you got on this week? What's happening in your world in the week ahead?
Thankfully, I have a quieter week, as in not needing to go anywhere or anything else, because I've got a lot of really interesting internal bits to sort out and everything else. But also I'm on Confessions of Accountant, so I'm on there on Wednesday, I believe it is, talking about AI, so how AI has impacted our practice and what best case or what solutions we can recommend and how it goes from there. So it'll be a really interesting one, and I'm really excited to be on there as well. Donna was just on our Pit Stop podcast. It went live last week, I believe it did. It was an amazing guest, really, really good. So it'll be good to kind of give back and kind of go down that route as well. So really looking forward to it. If you haven't already, get yourself over there. Links and everything are all over LinkedIn and stuff. If you just look for Confessions of an Accountant, you'll see it from there. So yeah, it'll be good fun. Really look forward to that.
And if you've not already seen all the podcast pit stop episodes from the last few events, then they are all live now. I think we've got a few more still to go out, haven't we, over the coming days and weeks? So yeah, keep an eye on YouTube, especially for, if you're subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure you turn on the notification bell as well, so you get a little pop-up saying we've got a new video out or something scheduled to go out. Being subscribed doesn't guarantee you get the notification anymore. You have to be subscribed and do the notification. And if you want your friends to know about it, then click like and put a comment in the video as well. That always helps with the algorithms. But yeah, no, it sounds like a busy but more relaxing week for you in the week ahead.
Well, not relaxing at all, but yeah, it's
at least you're not traveling.
Yeah, not needing to travel. It's definitely going to be a good thing. Yeah, because we've got to get our head down, get some stuff sorted, make some big decisions with the firm. So it's always good to without having distractions at the same time. So it's good to see. Good to see. And I assume your weekend is, or your week's going to be how to get to and from the bar, pool.
And pool without sunburn and stuff, But yeah, no, a few more days of R&R here. So then Wednesday we're out dolphin watching and snorkeling. Dolphin.
Say, when did you get to golfing? Just
oh god, no.
Doing the back nine.
So yeah, dolphins and snorkeling, and then Thursday is a boat trip around some islands and stuff. Again, more snorkeling, more rum, more barbecues, more gorgeous scenery, potentially more dolphins and whales. We'll see. Nice. And then fly back home Saturday. So this time next week, I'll be back in my office in unpredictable weather, Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's been sunny. I mean, too sunny if you ask me, because Download, which was the event literally around the corner from me, had glorious weather all day, all weekend. And me and Ash were due to go there, and we were like, no, we can't. It's going to be too wet. And we're fair weather festival goers these days, and just watched everyone. I think there was like 2 minutes worth of rain over the whole weekend. So.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, very upsetting. Yeah. It was too hot, actually. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself. It was too hot. It was,
Yeah, you sat through all of that rain for Silverstone last year.
But that because of excitement on the racetrack, right? Like, that's where I see it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, the final week of R&R, some boat trips and stuff to keep me distracted. We're getting to that period of time where my mind's refreshed. I'm kind of ready to get back in and start doing a bit of work, but I need some distractions to keep me away from it. So that's the plan.
Well, we could do with the industry giving us more news to talk about, right? So hopefully the whole of the industry comes back off holiday next week. we can
get some updates from people. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. I mean, we love talking about Apple, but I don't think that's what people are personally coming for. So.
No, exactly. So, but yeah, brilliant. Well, hopefully everybody's had a fantastic episode. As always, thank you for joining us live. If you're not here live and you're watching us back at a later point, make sure you subscribe, like, comment on it, and try and join us live at 8:30 every Monday morning so your comments can be seen and read out. And you can keep us honest and true about some things. But yeah, we will see you all this time next week, back to normality.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.